Sawadee good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to ASEAN Club. I am Vidya. Today we have to uh, know about gender equality. Gender equality is the goal number 5 from the Sustainable Development Goal. So in this gender equality, you will learn about the what are the objectives, what is the gender equality, how is important to us, what are the solution on this, what is the challenges and the survey about the gender equality and the present time and the sex ratio from the United Nations and conclusion. So let's go with the object of the Goal 5. The difference between sex and gender, how they affect our life, different key gender issues, think for the suitable solution for them. So what is gender inequality? Inequality, that means unjust, right? In the world, there have a population about the half people are the women, right? And they also have the properties, right? So the gender inequality known as sexism, right? Sexism is the belief, psychological behavior, and intellectual difference between females and the males. The difference make one group superior than the others. So as we age, this leads to a prejudice and discrimination to both sex. Why is important to study? Because our understanding of the gender identity and cultural intersection of the gender with the race, ethnicity, class, and security. So gender has an important development of the human behaviors among the student knowledge and skill on gender issue. What is stereotype or gender inequality? So stereotype is a view of the preconception, attribute characteristic that the role should be performed by men and women. Gender stereotypes, girls or women are emotional, quiet, submissive, neat, clean, housewife, child-rearing, clumsy, and artistic. While other men are no emotion, loud, aggressive, messy, athletic, money makers, make in science are oriented, and notice. That's mean when in the class when you ask the question, the boy is answer immediately. A few seconds later, the girl is respond. So that means the boys are the oriented. Advice how to against the inequalities, be aware of the sexism, deal with the equality without complexes, drive forces for the equal education. That means that in the rural areas women doesn't have a chance to study like a man because uh, they have the problem about the transportation. School is very far, and also the when they back home in the evening, they are worried about the sex harassment, right? So they don't have chance to study, and also they have to help their parents at home, their housework, something like this. So the the girl is uneducated like the boy, right? A little chance to study. Think literally. The ratio of the sex in Asian countries, this is the United Nations 2020. So the first one is China, the rank one. In Asia also this is the number one. So if you tell by the Asia country, China will be number one, the India the follow number two after China, and Indonesia number three, the Philippines is the fourth, and the fifth is the Vietnam, right? And Thailand may be six, and then Myanmar is number seven. So let's start with the China. They have 1,439 million people with the male or the 738 million people, and the female is 701. So if you see the ratio, when the male is 51.29, the female is 48. So the male is more than the female 2.58. The India is a ratio different 3.93, but Thailand, they have a 69 million people, 48.66 and 5.134 is the female. So they have a minus 2.68. The female is much more than the male, like the same Myanmar, also minus 3.63. So difference between the sex and gender, the challenges are the males and the females or the men's or the women to distant category. Even though they have the transgender interchangeable, but the sex and gender are the same. How they affect our life? Inequality affect everyone. Stereotype of the rule, childhood and follow us through the adulthood for the girls and boys and men and women. So challenges. Identify the gender issue, gender inequality in the health workforce. Most of job is occupied by the women, and the stereotyping about the gender get paid. Almost in my country as well. When we get the graduation, the same university, women GPA is much more than the boys. But when you get the salary, they pay you the less than the boy. So should be it is not fair, right? So should be the same pay with the man because we work together, right? And the women often face for the bias and the discrimination as well as the sex harassment. The gender inequality is the threatening the delivery of the health. Sometimes when you go to the go to see with the doctor when you talk, right? The about your medical problem, you health problem, you should be talk with the women like to talk with the women is better, right? When you show have to show something, right? So also the addressing gender inequality in the health and social workforce solutions. So how they affect our lives, stop child marriage and sex harassment, make education gender sensitive and raise for the girls and their parents, value to the women work, get women into powers, encourage women into non-traditional vocation, and help break for the social taboos and work together with the women. In conclusion, gender inequality is the discrimination and sexism toward to certain individuals based on their genders. It mainly affects women, especially in growing society. Gender equality was not achieved nor granted by any legislation or law. So some places and society are still suffering from inequality, therefore create environment for it, progress and achieving gender equality. Okay, so why are you now standing? This is the survey form for you. You can go to the Google link form and that I give you, and also you just give the mark on this. Example, your prime minister or your president is he male, you have to mark here. Is he female, you have to mark here. Okay. Thank you for your attention and thank you so much. ขอบคุณมากค่ะ See you next week.